hurts him as a coach. You know what I mean? Because he came from the Shanahan tree.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to be the quarterback guru. So, like, yes, your offense is obviously going to falter when your starter's out,
For sure.
but but you're supposed to be able to put a game plan together as this offensive quarterback guru
Mm-hmm.
to make it not hurt as much.
Yeah, because I mean, it feels like yesterday, but those injuries that Tua experienced when he was fencing on the field, wasn't that 2 whole seasons ago?
Yes,
That feels
and
like
see,
yesterday. That was
well,
2 whole seasons ago. And then this most recent season, he got knocked out for a couple games again.
yeah, and see, and this is what I be talking about. Like when we be talking about Mike Tomlin, I always say that the front office is leaving him hanging. So like if you know that Tua is prone to injury, you can't have Huntley as your backup. You can't have Skylar Thompson as your backup.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Even if you got to go out there and get somebody like a Carson Wentz, you know what I mean? Like you need
Yeah.
somebody that can at least command, and like it might fail, it might not work, but somebody that has some sort of experience, that because I mean you got too many, like to your point, you got too many weapons to just throw anybody out there.
Yeah. For sure.
You know what I
You
mean?
got
Because
to
like
make
because like
that. Yeah.
like if Mahomes gets hurt, right? They had
Hmm.
Carson Wentz, so if Mahomes gets hurt, and just hypothetically, like say they got their whole roster, like so you got Rasheed Rice, all that stuff, like
Hmm.
you don't want to just put somebody in the game.
For sure. Yeah. And like we seen at the end of the season, I mean, Carson Wentz, he didn't win that game for them.
I think they
So
got shut out.
yeah, it was pretty bad. So I mean, I definitely feel you. And like you said, bro, when you know that, especially again, that shit was 2 whole seasons ago when Tua got hurt. If you knew that, and then obviously they tried to patch it up this time. Finally, the third time's the charm, right? Like we got to get Zach Wilson in here. We got to get at least somebody who's going to be capable of running the offense if Tua Tagovailoa gets hurt. But it's like you said, bro, Snoop Huntley. There is no way in hell you feel like you're gonna compete if he's your backup quarterback.
I don't understand why they didn't draft Dylan Gabriel, because
Mm.
like me and Raph always talk about this. It's more his point, so I don't want to take credit for it.
Mhm.
But but he always says, like, why don't teams have backup quarterbacks that mirror their starter?
And Dylan Gabriel is definitely Tua Jr., just a little smaller. And just
Yeah,
imagine that, smaller than Tua. That's crazy.
yeah, because I mean, like, if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, you know what I mean. Obviously, you're not gonna get Lamar Jackson as your backup, but
Right.
that's where Huntley fit in.
Stylistically, though, yeah.
Yeah, stylistically, you know what I mean. Just like even with Indianapolis right now, like I know people are like, "Oh, Daniel Jones," but that's not a bad backup for a quarterback like AR.
Yeah, for sure. It's not at
He
all.
can step in, and you don't have to change the offense that much. Like he's not
Yeah, they have a lot of the
obviously
same
not
traits
as
here.
fast. Yeah, he's not as fast as AR, but you know what I'm saying. But he's been known to break a run or two.
And well, shit. Let's talk about breaking a run. I still can't forget that one time Daniel Jones broke free for a run. I think it was against the Eagles.
Yes,
And
on
he
Thursday Night
literally
Football.
fucking tripped on his own feet. He was about to walk into the end zone. He tripped on his own feet. We got my
What up, bro?
dog, Pets Nation, Roomy Row, representing live in the
Yeah.
motherfucking building. What is going on, my dog?
Blessed by the best, brother. How my fellas doing? How
Yes,
y'all
Yes,
doing,
sir.
sir.
brother?
Yes, sir. We doing just fine, my brother. We
Doing
doing
good.
just
Just reading
fine.
these articles about Orlando trying to get a major league team.
Yeah, I've been hearing a little stuff about that. How many teams MLB got? They got what, 30 teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30. Okay, yeah. It wouldn't be a bad thing, but I mean, it's still a small market. Personally, I don't think it will be. It takes a while for a new team to come about and you know really come on the map.
Yeah.
But
I meant to
yeah.
ask you, and I apologize if I asked you this before because I'm going off of like 3 hours sleep right now. But like, how did you feel when baseball added the new wild card teams? Because I don't like it.
So that puts it at what 7 teams with the way it's
I
set
think
up.
it's
I
is
think it's
it is it six?
is it six? Okay, it might be. You might be right. It might be
Yeah, I
six.
think it might be six because you
You're
got
right
the
because
two that get the bye,
right too good to
and
buy.
then the 3 game series or whatever.
I mean,
Three
it
game
was an
series.
adjustment. To me, it was okay. It's still I ain't gonna lie to you. It's still cutthroat. Meaning, like so you could be a 90-win team, but don't win your division, and now you got to play in the wild card. And first game, you could be gone.
Yeah, see,
So
I
that
like
part
the
of it I
fact.
don't like.
I like the
Dwight,
fact
30
that
minutes, 4 points. That's crazy.
I feel like I like the fact that teams get buys because it gives you a reward for being the best,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I liked baseball's playoffs because it was exclusive. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you didn't just get in the play like the NBA with play-in. Like it's not
Hmm.
just adding extra teams just to have extra teams.
Yeah.
So did they change something in baseball?
Yeah, they changed it a couple years ago where they just added another wild card spot in each conference or whatever, or each league.
Uh, side note,
Any
side note. I know we only talk about sports, but I had a little situation that just happened. Hey, bro, if y'all see girls outside and y'all see a fucking weirdo, please be a hero. I'm saying that because I got a
Shout
daughter.
out to Cactus
I'm
Jack.
saying that because I got a daughter, and you know what I'm saying. Like these little girls were just walking, and this dumbass dude was just backing up, trying to talk to them. And I mean, bro, you could clearly see these girls are young as hell. And my nephew was in the car, and I was like, man, they look your age. He said, nah, I wouldn't even talk to them. And this dude just
Damn.
backing up in this damn truck. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I honked at him, and then the girls, they kind of like, oh, okay, like they felt a little. You can see in their face, they felt a little relief. So
Yeah.
they walked to this park, and then the dude pulled up to the park, and he started talking about the window. There's another dad out there, and he's like, yo, you can get the fuck out. Like, you get your ass out of here. So dude leaves, but it's just like, god damn, man, like, please, if y'all see kids out here, bro, please be a hero.
Yeah,
Be a hero,
'Cause
dog. Always
that's
representing your
crazy.
team. Shout out to Cactus Jack. Shout out to
yeah,
Radical
don't be
Jack
like
for
those
sure.
dudes on the JVP. You know what I'm saying? The apologist.
So my
Nah,
dog,
that's just yeah. Not to make it all sour, but yeah, that just pissed me off, man. Cause niggas is
no, you
weird.
good, brother. So my dog, Rumi Rowe, I need a status report on the Red Sox.
Y'all trash. I mean, y'all behind us. We got 3 games left.
Damn.
I'm gonna keep it a
Damn, now
buck.
y'all got room for improvement. Y'all trash.
Like, so y'all like
Ah,
26 losses
damn.
already. I mean, all right. Put it this way: what y'all did was after y'all won your World Series back in 20. What was that? 2018, I believe. We had 2019. We had Alex Cora. After he left the Red, I mean, after he left the Astros, when you got your little cheating ring or whatever. Y'all kind of didn't really. They didn't really. Y'all didn't really build past Mookie Betts. Like y'all traded Mookie Betts, and y'all really didn't get nothing for him. Like y'all tried to trade a lot of key players, and to me, in y'all rebuilding stage, like I don't understand what was going on with that. And then when y'all picked up David Price, a couple years ago, that didn't really work out for y'all. So y'all kind of just got like a lot of young talent.
Mm-hmm.
And the few free agents that y'all had signed haven't really hit on anything. That's really like y'all biggest problem.
Well,
Y'all kind of did a
well,
mistake.
I like the Bregman move, bringing Bregman in.
Yeah, but I mean, they got so many holes. There's so many holes. You know what I mean? Like Trevor Story, I think was the one that did never worked out for them. That they was kind of mad about.
Yeah,
That was like a big one out. That was like a hit and
So
miss.
while we here, and I follow bro on the gram, but I never really understood really what happened. The dude Trevor Bauer, what happened to his career?
he had like a I don't know the exact story, but it was definitely
So
like
so
some
he
rape charges or something like that. Like,
yeah, so he had sex with a girl, um, beat the fuck out of her, and like
Jesus.
choked her out and everything. But then he had text messages that showed that she wanted that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it was one of those things where, like, once you get accused, what I'm saying, like, it's just stuck with you.
Yeah, I
She
feel you.
black? I mean, was she white?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. But
Mm.
it was a girl that he met on some app or something, and
App
came to
Shorty
the
is crazy.
yeah, came to the hotel or whatever, and and she was talking about like how she wanted to be choked out and like wanted it like super
Hey, yo,
rough.
so are we supposed to feel sorry for them dudes, or do we put them in the idiot box?
oh, the idiot box.
Um, I put them in the idiot box because I think that we've
Okay.
seen
I
enough.
just wanted to make sure.
I think we've seen enough stories to know that don't do that shit.
Like, we met on the app. When we have sex for the first time, I want you to beat the hell out of me, slap me, choke me, do it as crazy as you can the very first time we meet, and it's all cool.
Especially when you're a
Nigga,
rich
what?
dude
Crazy.
too.
That's crazy work.
Especially when you're a rich dude. And that's the
Like,
thing, right? Because let me be controversial for a slight second, just a slight second. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where like it's absolutely true. We tell women that you can consent and then you can pull your consent at any time.
Hmm.
That's
right,
absolutely true. And
right.
I agree with that. But where it gets cloudy is when you do it and then after the fact you be like, I didn't want that, but you never expressed that at any point.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where it gets cloudy.
And then you get into the sticky situation where you really can't even, like, this conversation can only go so deep before you become the monster or the guy that's the apologist for it. Like,
Right.
you can only go so far into
And
it
that's why I
before it's
said
like,
for a slight
whoa.
second. Yeah. And that's why I said just for a slight second, you know what I mean? And I think it's just a symptom of the world that we live in now. Like if you have a different opinion, it don't matter if you think that you thought it through or anything. If you don't say the right thing, you done.
Nope. That-
You know what I mean? And that's what happened to him. He got accused. So like nowadays, fuck all that innocent until proven guilty stuff. Like the accusation alone brings you down.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, I didn't know. Cause I know bro was trying to get his way back into the league. And I was just like, damn. Cause I be seeing him post videos and shit on cause I think he might play for a minor league, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he's playing in Japan
Yeah, I'm
somewhere.
not sure what happened with him. Yeah.
He's over in Japan, last I heard.
But yeah, that was what happened though. He got accused and beat the case, because like I said, he had the text messages.
My nigga said I beat the case out the Joan.
You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter. You got accused, you know what I mean? Like we see it in real life, like with like, all the time.
Hmm.
Like I had a guy real quick, I had a guy who he slept with this girl and he had the text messages. You know what I'm saying? That showed whatever was up. And then when he went to court, he was super drunk out of his mind when the situation happened. And she told them like he got me drunk, but there was no proof of that. Problem is she was 20. So, you know what I'm saying? So she told them like, yo, he got me drunk. So they couldn't get him for the assault. So they got him for the giving her alcohol.
Hmm. Got to be careful out here in these streets.
Yeah. Women, I mean, I'm a happily these days, but you know what I'm saying? I love women, but I ain't never want a woman that bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Oof.
In Baltimore. Twins 11-game winning streak is the longest in the major leagues as they go in and sweep in Baltimore. Our best Western Road Warriors. They won their past 5 road games during this winning streak. And the bullpen, they were the real warriors here, Charlie. 11 and a third innings pitched, only 8 hits, they had 13 Ks, and no earned runs. How about it? Twins, 11-game winning streak is the longest in the major leagues.
Are the Minnesota Twins a threat to make the postseason?
The crazy thing about it, I think they got that win streak, and they still. I mean, they might be just maybe like 6, 7 games, maybe over 500. I don't think that. It's not even like that big a crazy lead. It's such a long season. I mean, it's the Twins, but it's only May. Everybody's gonna have their ups and downs.
I mean,
they probably made the. Yeah, they got
a spot.
Yeah, they made the. Let me say, who's in the division? It's the Twins. That's what the Central, right? So that's the Indians.
Yeah.
I mean, Guardians and all them. Yeah.
Yeah, Guardians, Royals, Tigers, White Sox.
Yeah. So the Tigers, I think, is still. Well, the Tigers are better than I thought it would be. So far.
Yeah, I had the Tigers winning the division, so they look about what I expected, but I thought Kansas City would be better.
The Royals?
Yeah, they made the playoffs last year.
They one of those come and go teams.
Yeah.
Warriors that go to the World Series and then you don't see them again for another 4 years, 5 years, and like I said, make the playoffs for another year and then fall back down. That's pretty much what they do.
Well, you know what they are? The Royals are kind of like a small market NBA team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get nobody to come there, so you know what I'm saying, you got to rely on the draft or your farm system, and you know what I'm saying, by the time you get good, the good teams come in and take your players.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's always been a problem.
You know it sounds like what's about to happen to Milwaukee.
So, Rumi Rowe, speaking of Milwaukee, what do you think the Milwaukee Bucks plan for Giannis will be next year? Because there have been reports that the two sides are trying to come together and see if they can work this thing out. Do you think it's in the best interest? We already know what the interests of the Bucks are. Do you think it's in the best interest of Giannis to stay in Milwaukee?
Well, it's gonna be one of the things where the Bucks going. I mean, if they do trade him, obviously they're gonna want to try to get. They're gonna want a lot of serious package. I mean, it's the best bet is to trade. I mean, honestly, personally, they trade Giannis. I think that's still gonna set them back a couple years. You're still not gonna get a star of the same caliber. That's what I personally believe. There's gonna be a lot of draft picks probably involved. But at the end of the day, he got a Marine though, so it wasn't like it was a bad draft pick. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the pieces around him just got old. Like Chris Middleton just couldn't stay healthy. They did a bad move by trading Drew Holiday. I think that probably was. They, to me personally, didn't need a Dame Leonard. That trade there probably really set them back. And then the way they just did, honestly, they let Giannis get a lot of control. You know what I mean? Which is understandable. I mean,
shout out to Adrian Griffin. I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's what I'm saying. They did Griffin dirty, and I think it's one of them things where it's like, you're not about to do this man dirty like that. I think he's going to be successful. So I think they're going to be just trash for a while. To be honest, I think it's one of the things where he was a player from, international player, came to the United States, finally got a control of a team. And not everybody knows how to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't.
Yeah, not everybody's a GM.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And Giannis, I feel like one of the players where things is not going his way or everybody's not doing it the way he think everybody should be doing it, and he's like, all right, I want y'all out of here. And the Bucks just gave him the keys to the kingdom. But honestly, I feel like they're gonna get up off him. Now where he gonna go, I have no clue.
Well,
who got the best package.
Well, 2-5, that was interesting because I personally thought that obviously it was in the best interest of the Milwaukee Bucks, at least from their side, to try and find a way to retain the Greek Freak. But Rumi Rowe basically said that it would be in the best interest for them to maybe part ways. What do you think?
I agree with Rowe. I think this is the problem that NBA teams run into. And depending on the situation, I guess it makes sense. But I don't like to lose something for nothing. You know what I mean? So, like, you can ride this out and keep Giannis and lose him in 2 years. He walks away and you got a whole lot of cap space. But your fans deserve better than that, for one. You know what I mean? For two, if you're talking about somebody like Giannis, who's coming to Milwaukee? You know what I mean? Like, who can you get into Milwaukee like as a free agent?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody.
And then as far as
Ain't nobody
Milwaukee,
going there, bro.
and you could make a trade, but look at who their head coach is.
Yeah, facts.
So I think that you call Houston, because I know the Spurs the Spurs have been getting some conversation, but it sounds like so far, and obviously we hear a lot of things during the draft process, but right now they're saying that the Spurs aren't a player right now in that situation. But so I call Houston and I say I need about Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard, saying maybe another player and at least two first rounders.
While we on here though, just a sidebar. Don't want to get too far off, but is Jalen Green expendable this offseason? Not in the future, but right now.
I think he will be,
I
but I think he
think yeah.
shouldn't be.
Hmm.
Because I mean, this is the problem, right? We live in this new age where, you know what I mean? We could see a dude score 46 points tonight, right? And then the next game, saying he might go 8 for 24, and we'd be like, yo, he garbage. Like, he a bum. He can't win. And, even though we just saw him score 46 the other night. So like, Jalen Green had a bad playoff series. But it was his first time in the playoffs, too. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And he's only, what, 23?
I
And
feel
he's
you.
the only dude on the Rockets that can score consistently. And like as far as setting himself up. Maybe Van Vliet, but, for the most part,
No,
so
I
he's
feel
the,
where you're going though.
yeah.
Oh!
I think they
But
keep
I
the same
think
team.
but I
Honestly, I
think
don't
there's
think
going to be an overreaction.
I
they make some
just,
moves. I'll tell you that.
but do the Rockets get better by still adding players or through subdition or addition by subtraction?
I think they get better by keeping their core they got, and I mean adding a piece here and there. I don't think they need to get rid of
Yeah.
anybody.
Well, we just kind of talked about this the other day, but we weren't talking about the Rockets, right? We were talking about the Mavs. So, like, if you look at it, right, like realistically, Steph is another year older. Draymond's another year older. Jimmy Butler's another year older. And you took them to 7 this year. You got Denver is probably going to do something like to break it up or to repivot. So they're not going to be the same. You still got to work in another, new couple of players potentially. The Lakers, LeBron's getting another year older. You know, um, OKC and Minnesota will be around,
Mhm.
but outside of those two, and maybe the Spurs, depending on Wemby's situation. So like realistically, you just went from say 7 or 8 teams to 3 teams that you got to worry about.
Nah, I definitely feel you because when I think about the Rockets, the first thing obviously that I think about is what position would they be in if Ime Udoka wasn't in the building?
Well, they definitely wouldn't be where they was at. I'll tell you that for a fact. He
Yeah,
may definitely change
yeah.
that. That's a fact. He
So
can
it's
coach.
like,
I
is
give
the
you
Jalen Green question even a question of Jalen Green? Is this really a question of can Ime Udoka take these guys to the next level? Along with, of course, naturally they're going to have to develop and stuff like that. But I'm saying, though, is the bigger question of their success towards Jalen Green in the group or Ime Udoka?
combination of both.
I think it's Ime. Like he came in there as a guy that took a young team to the finals, and won what 2 games in that finals. So I think that Houston feels they're on this clock that they're not on.
They got time. And I mean, no, I do feel you. I don't know why we feel like the Rockets are in like a pressure situation. It's like they're honestly just now getting here. Just like, the Timberwolves of maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's like he's just not getting here.
Right. Now, I think you let him. I think you run it back. Obviously, you plug in holes because I haven't looked at their roster to see who's free agents and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you just run it back, and you know if he pulls this stunt again in the playoffs next year, then you got the answer to your question. But with that being
Yeah.
said, but with that being said, we were talking about T.J. Watt off camera, right? Like Giannis's don't come available every day.
This is true. This is true.
You know what I'm
So
saying? I don't know how Giannis and Amen Thompson are going to work together though.
that's what I'm saying though. It's like, would you move a young guy for that? Would you move a Sengun for a Giannis?
Yes,
No. Mm.
I say yes, and I've heard that that's on the table too.
Reason why I wouldn't do it because I don't think that's just enough. Like just swapping them players out and keeping everything else around. I still don't think Houston gets to the next level. That's the only reason why I wouldn't do that trade.
I just don't know if Ime is the right coach to do that. Like, not saying that he's a bad coach, not saying that he doesn't belong in Houston, because I think he's a great coach. But I think if you're going to bring somebody like a Giannis in, you might need a more offensive minded coach that can
Mm.
create spacing and, get the shooters open and all that. Because the Rockets just kind of like, they look like they play playground ball.
Yeah.
And Giannis doesn't shoot well enough himself, you know what I'm saying, for that to for him to so like I know this sounds stupid because Giannis is a way better player, but the Rockets would be probably better off with Kevin Durant than Giannis.
A shooter, because they got slashers. They need a finisher. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
I
that's
can
why
feel
I
that.
like Giannis in San Antonio because not because I live in San Antonio, but because him next to Wemby is just who gonna bring the ball in
Different.
here?
That's just different. And then they still got De'Aaron Fox. Even if
Yeah,
they get rid of Stephen Castle, I mean, they still got D Fox, who's one of the most electric or athletic guards in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So that's still a deadly trio. So and it's
Right.
not like Wembyana got hurt from a contact injury or even a non-contact injury. He has like an illness. So when
yeah.
he comes back, he's gonna be fully healthy, ready to go. So I can definitely see that. But now, I mean, since we're still talking about Giannis, this might be another sidebar question, but it's like we all talk about how dangerous Giannis potentially could be, or like maybe raising his ceiling higher than it already is. How potentially dangerous he could be if he develops a jumper. Do you see that being something that he could be adding like to his repertoire, or is that something that people are just fantasizing about?
That is just fantasizing about it. I mean, like I said, Giannis is like 10 years in the league now.
I feel that.
Has his jumper has it improved? Has he had to really
Well,
worked on any post
I think this
moves?
year, I think this year was the best that it's been. You know what I'm saying? But to Rose's point, that might be the best you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's never gonna be like a Kevin Durant.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I'm not saying
Or
Kevin
even a
Durant, but
Kevin
maybe like a
Garnett. Or even
Kevin
a Kevin
Garnett.
Garnett. Yeah. No, I don't even see
I
that.
don't even know if he gets there
Mm.
because KG was pretty automatic.
I'm talking, yeah,
Right.
bro. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah, so I don't
KG
even
definitely
think
had
he
a
gets
jumper.
there. So Giannis might be because I mean, so that's the thing about Giannis, right? Is that he's one of the players that you can look at year to year and you can see that he got better or that he was working on something. You know, so he has that going for him, but I just don't know. Like Rose said, it's been 10 years or so. Well, actually, it's more than that. I think he was
Yeah,
drafted in
probably gonna be 12. He
2013.
might have been 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you ain't got it by now, you ain't getting it.
Yeah.
So we feel like Giannis. We think it's in the best interest for both parties to move on. Um, could we see any other superstars potentially on the move? Maybe a Kawhi, maybe a Harden, maybe a PG, maybe
Nah,
even a
PG gonna
younger
never
person.
die. He gonna stay with the Sixers and try to make redemption because he had a horrible year, which I thought was a bad signing from the jump. Clippers, they gonna keep what they got as far as Harden and Kawhi because Steve Ballmer is so in love with Kawhi. He thinks no wrong with him. Harden definitely kept the Clippers afloat. With Harden, when
Mhm.
Kawhi and them was out, so they're not gonna move from him. So pretty much as far as big name, actually, I really like big name this year. I really think it's gonna be Giannis for the most part, and obviously the draft. I really don't see too many stars being moved around.
Well, I got my
See what the
eyes
Lakers
on
gonna do
quite
with
a few.
Luca.
I got my eyes on quite a few guys just because um, this whole apron, the luxury tax, and you got to get under that because it can affect your draft picks down the road. So I can see somebody like Trey Young getting moved. You know,
Mhm.
I could see conversations. He might not get traded, but I could see Memphis taking calls about Ja Morant because
Mhm.
they're already at the point where Jaren Jackson, is potentially gonna get a big contract, and you know what I mean. Like I don't know if Ja fits there anymore as far as when you start paying a Jaren Jackson.
And
Um,
now,
you
I'm
know,
sorry to cut you off. No, go ahead. I'm
yeah.
gonna hold my question.
No, no, go ahead. I was just gonna bring up Paul George for a quick second and say like I don't think he's moving because I don't know what the market for him is.
So, as far as Jaren Jackson getting a max contract, I don't know if it's gonna be a super max 300 M's contract, but a max contract is especially what I'm saying isn't the defensive player of the year you getting like an additional 50 M's or something like that.
Yeah.
So with him being paid that much money, would the Grizzlies be regressing? Would it be? And I know we're never going to say, oh, take a discount. It's not the Brock Purdy question, or maybe it is. Would it be wise for Jaren Jackson to cash out like that, and then the Grizzlies take a step back? Would they want to get rid of Ja, or would they not want to pull a Nico Harris?
Starters from the player aspect, it's all about get your money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about get your money. So you got a team that's willing to pay you the M's. It's almost like get your money first and then get the ring second, even though they try to put on this thing where it's all about winning, but we all know it's about that money first. So
Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't this be his second contract?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I think that so with the NFL, you got to get the money because it could be gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With the NBA, it's all guaranteed. So give me my money, and if you can build a team good enough, go into the luxury tax. Just like Boston did. Go into the luxury tax, get the championship, and then you can break some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But can Memphis get what can Memphis do to make themselves contenders? You know what I mean? Like I know Cowboy Mike has been saying that that's where he thinks Giannis will end up, but I don't know if they got what Milwaukee's looking for.
I can't see Giannis in Memphis.
I don't see that either.
You know what I'm saying? And then I know they tried to make a trade for KD at the trade deadline. But like I said, like what could Memphis realistically do that when the season starts next year, we're gonna say OKC and Minnesota better watch out.
Cause dog, where do you expect to go with Jaren Jackson as the best player or the highest paid player on your team? Like,
That's a fact.
especially if they get rid of John Morant. Like,
Right, right. And I mean, so I don't know how it works. Because since Mobley ended up winning Defensive Player of the Year,
oh shit,
uh,
I'm tripping. I forgot.
I think that there's still a clause in there if he's first team all defense.
No, but that 50 M's off the table. I mean, that's still a lot of bread. But I mean, I still don't know if he's gonna get a max deal though.
I mean, I think that see, this is the problem with the NBA. If you're a team like Memphis, you almost have to give him the max contract because it's
Mm-hmm.
not about him. It's about attracting people to come there in the future. Like, oh, they take care of their own. You know, like, oh, if you play well, Memphis will reward you. But if you don't pay him, you run the risk down the road that people gonna look at you like you're not a destination.
Do you think people are looking at at Dallas like that?
I think I think people look at Dallas as Dallas will pay. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave Kyrie the contract when nobody else would. You know, they brought in AD. You know, they Dallas is willing to make the trades, and Dallas is something like the most growing city in the United States. So, like, you know, there I don't know if Dallas is really considered a big market as far as the NBA goes,
Mm-hmm.
but they're becoming one.
I feel you.
Yeah, I agree with you,
I
man.
definitely feel you, so because I mean,
I don't see too many free agents signing with Dallas either.
No, and that's the thing. Dallas doesn't really
yeah,
need free agents because if you think about it, Dallas never really got free agents.
No.
Even when they had Mark Cuban, you know, they were supposed to get DeAndre Jordan that one year, but then the Clippers held him hostage in the basement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It like made his ass stay. But like the thing when Dallas won their championship, you know, they had Dirk. You know, Jason Terry didn't start out there.
mhm.
Right.
You know, Jason Kidd came back. You know, Tyson Chandler wasn't a Maverick. You know, Peja. So like Dallas is willing to make the moves, but when Kyrie comes back from injury, you got Kyrie, AD, Cooper Flag, and you're not asking Cooper Flag to come in right now and you know be the rookie. I mean, be the leading scorer in the NBA or something right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they got Clay, so you got three champions on that roster to learn from. You know, and a lot of other players that are on the team that played in the finals just 2 years ago.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like Dallas, I think is in a good position. Maybe you move Gafford and see what you can get for him. You know, maybe you look at PJ Washington, you know, and move him since Cooper Flag is coming in. But you know, you still got Lively, who's super young, and he keeps AD from having to play the five.
Mhm.
You know, the question is, can you play Cooper Flag, AD, and Lively in the same lineup?
Mm. I mean, but do you think he's as good on the wing? And I'm not making the direct comparison, but I'm saying like as to guys like like a Tatum or Apollo, other former you know.
I think that he could be, but I don't think he is. Obviously, he's not right now.
Mhm.
You know, that's probably 2 to 3 years away.
So if he's a, I mean, if he's generational talent, like why aren't we? I mean, Paulo was like that coming out. Tatum was like that coming out.
No, he could definitely be, but I think that motherfucker. I think it's hard when you're on a team, and like I said, he's not there early, but that's hard when you're on a team with a guy like Kyrie, because not that he's a ball hog or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that, but Kyrie gonna take some
For sure.
shots. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna dribble that ball. You know what I'm saying? And you know you got to get AD, you know, touches just so he stays involved and engaged and all that stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like I think Cooper Flag is blessed that, you know, he gets to go to a team like that. But the problem is that in 2 years or whatever I said, 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
years, when he develops into that, AD going to be 34, 35. You know, Kyrie's going to be like 35 or 36. So, you know what I mean? So now you really got to take the reins, and that's when Dallas has to figure out what they're going to do.
Continue to build around because, like you said, it's gonna be hard to attract free agents. I mean, Dallas doesn't have a track record attracting, you know what I'm saying, big time free agents. So hopefully they'll be able to build through the draft or be able to make some trades or something like that.
I mean, when you think
Yeah.
about it, we look at the free agent market. I mean, you look at the teams. It's only like what, maybe 3, maybe 4 teams that free agents really go to. As far as the NBA, mostly
Right.
a lot of this stuff really happens through trades. When you think about it, I mean, even for the Knicks, for example, a lot of the players they picked up was trades. You know what I'm saying? They pick up nobody during free agency. You know what I'm saying? So then even with the
Yeah, like
Lakers,
Brunson was the only one.
yeah, right? Yeah, Brunson was right. Brunson was the only one. Yeah, even with the Lakers, like I said, them being out there in LA, they can't get nobody to come out there for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like how many markets really? I mean, is it even a market thing anymore? You know what I'm saying? I think most of it just comes down to the team itself, like and what you're building, and how can I get my shine or whatever the case may be.
And, and see, and that's where Nico painted himself in the corner because rumor is, he tried to trade Luca for Giannis,
Mm,
but Milwaukee said no. You know what I'm saying? So now you go back and look at it. He made the trade that he made. Realistically, a guy like 2-5 would be like, hey, why don't you trade Anthony Davis for Giannis?
mm,
You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that because he's the guy that you traded Luca for.
right.
So you think them fans are mad now? Like, you know what I mean? And like you go trade the guy in a year that you gave up Luca for. So like that would probably be the best move. Like Anthony Davis and some filler for Giannis.
Mm,
Yeah, because I mean,
But you can't do it.
and shout out to the to Jeannie Buss for allowing this to fall right into her lap. And now again, the Lakers set up to have a superstar for the next coming however year. Bro, how long has LeBron been a Laker? This been like 5-6 years now, ain't it?
low key, it's not
Yeah,
even like
2019, I think.
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
Because they won in 2020. I think he got there the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga is a
Because
tenured
that's when he at
Laker.
first got hurt. Yeah.
He is a
And
tenured
that's what I'm
Laker.
saying. But that's the problem that the Lakers have is that, he's 3 years younger than me. And they still like, yo, go out here and get us 28. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he been delivering, but I mean, at some point he gonna have to take the back seat. He gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I feel like he's comfortable letting Luca lead the team, but is Luca gonna
Just the
stand up?
inconsistency of the shooters around them. It's like, bruh, Ruby come and go. They can stay injured. AR-15 come and go. I mean, he's starting to be consistent as far as he's gonna give you about between 15 to 23 or 22 a game. You know what I'm saying? Luca gets sometimes 2, 3
yeah.
point happy, and he gonna turn the ball over at least like 4 times easy. You know what I mean? And then this is the roster they got. It's the inconsistency of the shooters. Because LeBron definitely doesn't want to be back, the leader. He definitely doesn't mind sitting back seat and going to their hole and dishing out. But it's just the inconsistency of shooters. That's the Lakers' problem. But Lakers really messed them up. Honestly, it's when they
Right.
made that trade for AD. That kind of did a lot for them. Meaning they got rid of half the roster as far as young talent. Everybody that they drafted, we think about it, from Kuzma to Julius Randle, all them people, and then you traded all them away, and all you got was one person for them. I mean, Grady did get a ring out of it, so
Yeah.
in the bigger picture, it was worth it. But that be the thing sometimes with these teams is like, the ring is the most important thing, but it is also about creating longevity or be able to compete for years and just not put all your passes in just one year. Like
Right.
that's what the Rams had their problem with in NFL. They had passes in one year, got a Super Bowl, but now after that they just kind of just been teetering, what I'm saying, teetering, I should say. And that's how it is with these
And
franchises.
that's another problem with the NBA is that these dudes be so impatient to get where they're trying to go to that they fuck up the team that they're going to.
Hmm.
Like Melo did that,
Yeah.
when he left Denver. And the Knicks gave up like 4 players. It was like, yo, you could have used Raymond Felton or
Hmm.
Wilson Chandler on that team.
Yep. Like, yep.
Like if you'd have just waited 3 months and left as a free agent,
Yeah.
then you could have had conversations with the Knicks about who you wanted on the roster.
Yep. That's what the damn Suns' problem is now. That's what the Suns are sorry. Trade all them players for KD, and I knew that was gonna be bad. I said once they trade all the players, I said, well, KD ain't got nobody to play with. And I feel like Bradley Beal, it was
Yeah,
almost as like Bradley Beal was like overrated. Almost like, because once he got to the Phoenix, it was almost like he can't even shoot the ball no more. Like the whole time he was there, I have not seen one good Bradley Beal performance. People like, that's the team, that's the player that they signed for. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
right,
the
For
old
sure.
Bradley Beal.
right. And they gave up Kamara, who went to Portland, and he's like going to be a better version of Lou Dort.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need those type of players to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't let the players dictate this
Yep.
stuff, because the players are like, get me a dude in here that can score. And it's like, that's cool, but who going to do the dirty work?
Right.
That's real shit though.
But I mean, if you look at it, look at Boston. Look at Boston. You think about they drafted great as far as drafting Jason Taylor, Jaylen Brown, great. Then they was able to build everything around it. But even still, with all that, all the pieces they put around it, they got one ring. Now, granted, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals like what like 6-7 times straight. But they still only got one ring
Yeah,
out of it. But overall, they still will say that they had a great 8-year run. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, they probably gonna break up
right.
this year or whatever. But I'm so if you're a Boston fan, you'd be like, I still think it was successful. You know what I'm saying? They just couldn't help with injuries and stuff they had here and there. But that just goes to show how hard it is to win a championship. You need everything to kind of fall
But
into
see,
place.
I also think that if the Knicks lose this series to Indiana, you're going to hear a lot of Giannis to Knicks talk.
I'll tell you one thing: the NBA don't need the Knicks to lose. So just from a national standpoint, the Knicks is like the only big name that's left in the playoffs. When you think about it, everybody that's left is like regional coverage. You know what I'm saying? Indiana,
I
Minnesota.
have I have
Oh,
I have no idea how to look at that series.
yeah, no, it's like it's gonna be 6 or 7 games. I feel like all series gonna be 6 or 7. Ain't none of them 5, and damn sure ain't gonna be no sweeps. So it's either gonna be 6 or 7.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I think they just match up so well with each other in different ways that it's hard for me to lean one way. Like, I tend to lean towards the Knicks
I'm taking New York, man. New York in
just
6.
because. Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards too.
Bro, Pacers in 5, man. What are we
But
talking about?
Oh hell no! Here's the Boston guy.
Pacers in 5, gang. What are we talking
Hell
about,
no! I don't see
guys?
no goddamn Pacers in the finals, bro. I'm not watching that shit.
here y'all go with that, which is another problem with the NBA. Its fans are entitled, spoiled babies. Like, do y'all
I'm
like
just saying.
basketball or
Turner's
not?
cool. Miles Turner's
Do
cool, but that's just not keeping me
do
up
y'all
late to
like
watch stuff.
basketball or not?
I'm just
I don't
saying,
like it
dog.
like that.
It's good for the sport. Halliburton is good. Halliburton is good for the sport.
I respect it, man.
Tyrese
I think
Halliburton, always been a fan. Never criticized him one time.
For the time that the game start, and you telling me it's the Pacers in the finals, I'm not watching that shit. The game will start to like 9:15. Means the game like we go to like 12 Eastern time. Like, bro, I'm not doing it.
the finals gonna
Maybe
start at the same time, regardless of who's in it.
right, but
Exactly,
New
because
York
you
is
hating.
New York is gonna be a lot better. That's all.
I'm not trying to watch Tibbs in no finals.
Hey man,
Bro, we
shout out
can't
to
have the
Tibbs,
Knicks in
man.
that, John, bro. We can't.
Wow, we can't. Why we can't have the Knicks in there? What the hell? Knicks been sorry for so long, man.
Nah,
Gotta
see,
have the
that's what
Knicks
I've
in
been
there.
telling y'all for years, man. Y'all NBA fans are sick. See, that's the difference. Y'all NBA fans, I'm a basketball fan.
That's respect. That's respect.
Walk into a bar.
Respect. That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
I didn't
I
say I
ain't
was
gonna
an
watch
NBA
this
fan.
team.
Yeah, I didn't. Hey, I'm
Like,
just.
was that you earlier? Was that you, or was that talking about like you ain't want Phoenix and Milwaukee? And I was like, yo, I just watch basketball.
No, that was Adam.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, whoever it was, I just like basketball. I watch the finals regardless of who's in
That
it.
was a ball. If I was
Watch
seeing it.
basketball,
Wow.
man.
You gotta
Yeah,
be a bum. You are a
you know what
bum.
I'm saying? When OKC hoist this trophy,
Hey, dog.
You said when OKC hoisted trophy. Nah, I'd
that's
rather
what I
see Ant
said.
hoist that down.
Oh, I was saying that you swung at it.
Like, so let me say this one thing real quick though.
Hey,
You know what, Jokic, fuck
say
you,
it.
man. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
What
Because
happened, Joker?
because this is one of those things where, like,
Whoa.
you know, I
Friends become
always talk about
enemies.
how I always talk about how people they criticize the players that they don't like, and
Yeah.
then they don't say nothing about the players that they do like. And
Word
so
to World Cup.
Jokic, so the media has been on Jokic for about 5 years now,
Yeah.
and I've been defending Jokic about how y'all be being racist against him sometimes. And
Mm.
but when you have a game like today in a game 7, when you're a star of that level, you got to get called to the carpet.
Call him.
Like, not even saying that you got to win the game per se, but you
You
can't.
gotta play
Like,
better than that.
I was just talking about Jimmy Butler the other day, how those last 2 games against Minnesota, he took 20 total shots, right? Joker took 9 shots today, saying one in the second half. When
Yeah,
you
like 9
got,
points off of free throws.
he did, but he had 20 points total, 9 of them were free throws. When you got Aaron Gordon, who can barely walk, hobbling up and down the court, you got to get called out for that.
Come on now, MVP.
Especially,
Hey, look, we've
yeah,
been going to bat for him all season.
yeah, and that's why I got to call him out because what I'm saying, he let me down. He let Nas down.
He let Nas down. Nas. Not Nas Reed either.
Jokic said he was tired, man. He's tired, man. He's tired of carrying that shit up
Yo,
on his back.
once Jokic put the clipboard down, I knew it was over.
Yeah, bro.
Jokic said he was
Like,
tired,
I
bro. He
can't.
said, I'm
There's no more
tired.
that I can do.
He said, put me
Here
on
we
the plate,
go.
More that I can do.
Sylvester. Where the hell you from? He going right back home. Fuck you.
Hey,
I'll be
And
back in.
I
I'll be
hate to
back
I
back to
hate
these
to
training.
horses.
criticize him.
Back to
I
these
hate to
horses. I'll see ya.
criticize him because
I'll see ya.
they weren't supposed to go 7 with this team.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
supposed
I
to
hate
lose
to
in 4.
criticize him. You know
Keep
what
my
I'm saying?
prophecy together.
But it changes a lot when you look back at it and you realize OKC gave them 2 games.
They did. They did.
For sure.
Where are you?
Huh?
You're not home.
I'm in a hotel room.
I'm like, I know. I'm like, your home doesn't look like that. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah,
I'm in
my dog at a
Orlando. I'm in
conference.
Orlando.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With the family.
Yeah.
Family trip.
You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? But that's where so I don't want to like I just know that if Jokic's name was a name that will not be said tonight, what I'm saying, this performance would be talked about for at least a week.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. So for me, that's where I draw the line between superstars and really good players.
Hmm.
A superstar, when they lose in this type of magnitude, there's stuff that comes with it. You get that front first, like it's not the other team won, it's why did you lose?
Hmm.
Regardless of what the
For
team is
sure.
around you. Right? If Brady loses, the question is why did Brady lose? It's not about the team that won. Right? The Giants, we saw the Giants beat the Patriots twice. Both times, what was the story?
Hmm.
Tom Brady losing.
Hmm.
Right? So when we're talking about, and that's why when we start having certain conversations, if you don't want to have, if your number one thing isn't to put that kind of pressure on the person that lost, then they're not what you're telling me they are.
Hmm.
And that's across the board. Like you can't tell me, oh, this person's the best. I believe this person's the best player in the world. I believe this person's the best player in the world, and I have no criticism for them when they lose.
And Cup's still taking him over the Diesel.
Shaq,
Bro,
great example, right? That team beat the Lakers, right? That team with the Lakers, the big four, Shaq, Kobe, Mailman,
Karl
GP,
Malone, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They lost to the
Detroit.
Pistons.
Hmm.
The story was Shaq lost. How did a team with Shaq and Kobe and these other people lose? Not how great are these Pistons. The Pistons felt
Right.
mad disrespected after because nobody talked about them. Like when you're that guy, you're held to that standard. And until you're held to that standard, you're not that guy. Which is why Jason Tatum fans should actually be happy that we put him on that place where we do say, yo, why aren't you better?
Why aren't
For
you
sure.
there?
Because that means we see him there. Why
I can
aren't you
agree.
dominant?
Yo, if Oklahoma City would have lost this game,
Oh, you
SGA
knew
would
what
have been
you know what I was
dragged
coming to
all
do.
over the place.
You know what I was coming to do if SGA would have lost. I told you. I told you exactly. There is no reason OKC should have lost that series. None. I don't care. I don't care if every player on Denver was healthy. I think
I don't
OKC is.
care.
I think
I
OKC
don't
is
care.
that good.
I don't care if OKC was missing players. Like if you told me that Lou Dort and I'm trying to think of another dude like
Hartenstein. Hartenstein went
and
down.
Hartenstein
I
were
don't
hurt,
care.
I don't care. Now, also the other thing that Jokic needs to be called out for is that he got the JJ Barea special today.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
You know what I'm
did.
saying? Caruso was locking
Shout out to
that ass
Caruso.
up.
Shout out to Caruso.
Shout out to Caruso. Nah, for real, Caruso was definitely putting the clamps on Joker. I was like, dog, you letting a guard do you like this, my guy?
And I want
Another
to say
dude
that
that the Lakers gave up for no reason.
exactly. I want to say that the Nuggets. I want to say the Nuggets shot more free throws than OKC did too, by a lot.
Wow.
It seemed like it.
Because earlier, I remember like right around halftime, they were like, "Oh, Jokic thinks that he should get this call that SGA got," and he was like, "Yeah, but the Nuggets have 16 free throws, and the Nuggets only have, and OKC only has 4."
So you remember back in the day, people would talk about how Shaq gets beat up and he doesn't get the calls.
Yeah.
Jokic is the reverse. Like
Yes, he
Jokic
is.
be banging on people and don't get called for nothing. And then people still be like, oh, Jokic ain't getting no calls.
he
And I'm
get
like,
no
yo,
calls.
he done elbowed everybody on the OKC team.
He said he done elbowed everybody.
He on the bench elbowing people.
Like Jokic be damn near trying to put people in headlocks to flop.
Yeah, dog. It's a bit interesting, bro. It's a bit interesting. I'm interested in seeing. I think the Nuggets, as we know them right now, are done. They're gonna have to retool it. I think Boston, as we know them, they're gonna be retooled as well. So some of these top teams are gonna have to do some revamping to get back to where they are, and it's gonna be a couple years before they do it, probably.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man. These
'Cause
Celtics
Boston
next
was
year.
going to have to do stuff either way, though. Like it ain't just the Jason Tatum injury. They were going to have to come off of at least 2 of those dudes anyway.
Yeah, especially if they're now saying that that Jalen's hurt too, and Jalen can't even start. He won't be able to start the season.
Yeah, because he was hurt at the end of the year, and there were conversations when the playoffs started of should Boston sit him for the Orlando series.
Well, I could tell he wasn't 100%. Like watching him in the series, I got like, this ain't like him to not move to not be. He's much more athletic than he showed himself to be in these series.
Right.
So I could tell something was there. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, it's something. I thought either they were making a concerted effort to try to get Jason Tatum to look like the MVP, so they was giving him less touches. But like something's weird. But they also did the thing that I hate when they finish the series and then they say, "Oh, these people were hurt." Like no, like either they were hurt. Don't do that. Don't tell me about the meniscus now. If they played, they was healthy enough to play.
Exactly. They were killing with that.
Yeah, he was the hero.
He's playing on a broken foot.
He lost his
I just
heart.
want to say
Exactly. His wrist was already twisted.
He had a heart transplant halfway through the year and nobody knew about it. Like, no.
Derek White played 30 minutes. Drew Holiday played 30 minutes. Both of these gentlemen combined for 12 points.
Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it.
Captain Drew. His name was Captain Drew.
You're not gonna win no games doing that, brother.
Sometimes you got to give the other team credit too.
Because they had six people in double figures. McBride, Captain Drew is supposed to be Captain Clamp, Captain Defense. Both of his guys went off of double figures.
But you
Yeah,
can,
OG,
Captain
OG and
Clamp.
OG and
OG
McBride
was
had
hitting some
good
shots,
games, and
man.
I ain't seen Coach since.
but you can be Captain Clamp. That's hysterical. You can be Captain Clamp when you don't have an offensive expectation. Like the thing about D White and thank you, and Captain Drew is any points they score is supposed to be icing. It's not supposed to be cake batter.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to depend on, like, if you get 30 from Derek White, hooray, we're winning. But
We
you
need more
shouldn't
than
be
8.
playing
We
expecting
need
to
more than
get
4.
30
You're
points
not
from
about to
Derek
tell
White.
me that these dogs are going to be giving us 30 minutes and our only expectation is for them to give us single digits as if they Draymond Green.
No, that's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
I didn't think that I was saying or alluding to the fact that they should have been putting up 30 or 35. I still feel
Their
like without
primary,
Jason Tatum, though, for sure, they still
but
should have been stepping up and giving us more than
No,
combining for 12 points.
no, 100%, 100%,
I feel like
100%.
Captain Drew. I feel like Derek White. I feel like if you're gonna be back, bro, we need more than that, dog.
he's gonna be
And
back, bro.
and,
Y'all
and
paid him.
again, bro, play J. We need JD Davison, dog. Give us JD Davison and Jordan Walsh, and we just gonna have to run it back and see what it's hitting
Is
on,
that
bro.
number
Hey,
26?
We just
bro.
gonna have to see what it's hitting on.
Yeah,
Is that number 26? They'll
yeah.
never play somebody who wears number 26.
Hey,
Bro.
bro, I'm here for Jordan
Hey,
Walsh
JD
and
Davison
no
is cold, bro.
eyebrows.
Chill. JD Davison, Peyton Pritchard,
Give him a different
Jordan
number
Walsh.
then.
What it do?
Just give him a
Yeah,
different
I'm
number.
here.
26 is
I'm
a,
here
is a,
for
is a running back number.
I'm here for Jordan Walsh, Villanueva. Yeah, I can't even say his name right now. Villanueva. There you go.
You know what I'm
Villanueva.
saying? We got
No
my dog.
eyebrows. The Josh Dobbs special.
Hell yeah.
That's
Hey, look,
crazy.
I'm telling
Yo,
you,
do I
bro.
look like
Jordan
Noob
Walsh is
Saban
tough.
on y'all screens?
You said what
What?
happened?
Do I look like Noob Saban on y'all screen?
No.
Okay, all right. Let's make sure.
You said Noob Saban. I mean, that joint is kind of dark though.
It is dark, but you don't look like that.
I'm not trying to get no light.
See, Lethal just lit you up right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
I'm just gonna
no,
just
man,
light
like
up.
no, you're right. You're right, but you know, it's just an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Like Drew Holiday, I couldn't even tell you the last time he scored 20 points. You know what I mean? That's just not his job. You know what I
It's
mean? But
not.
now with Jason Tatum out, everybody has to bump it up a level. And like I think that's the thing. Because like one of the things that I always tell you in Lethal is like y'all always look through things through an offensive lens and
Mhm.
act like defense doesn't exist. But like in these scenarios, when we're talking about stuff like this, and that's what made people like Kobe so great, was that not only was he scoring 35, but he was guarding a T-Mac too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like everybody ain't built like that. That's hard.
You gotta have
Kobe
fatigue.
wasn't afraid to get embarrassed. Like that's
It's
that's
Jalen
okay.
Brown wasn't afraid to
that's
get
how
embarrassed either, man. 8 for 20, dog. He was throwing it up.
he was throwing it up because nobody else was doing anything, dog. Like
I know.
nobody was
I
doing
know.
anything, bro. You gotta remember the first. Didn't he have what 15 in the first quarter or something like that?
Mhm.
Like nobody was doing nothing, bro.
And that's the thing. Like we got these expectations of like, well, you should have just scored 60 then. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, if he would have scored
Like the
40, we
rest
still would have lost by 20. It didn't matter.
No, I
dog.
know, but what I'm getting at is that the whole conversation is different though, because if this was the light skinned one, you know what I mean, it had the same exact performance, it would just be like, damn, the Celtics let them down, or like, oh, ain't nobody show up. Not like you gotta do better than 8 for 20, dog.
So if the roles was reversed, if Jalen Brown was the one that tore his Achilles, and Jason Tatum went out and performed at 8 and 20, is the conversation still the same?
It's actually probably worse because he's Jason Tatum.
It
Like
would
he's
be
the
worse
better
because he's
player,
Jason
so there's a
Tatum.
higher
Yeah,
standard.
they're gonna be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the rules apply. It's still a team game.
So okay, can I pause it? Do y'all think Jason Tatum's great or not, bro? Like dead serious. Because do you want us to treat him like he's not great?
I fuck with JT.
I think he's on the brink. I think he's on the brink.
I'm just saying, like, do you want us to treat him like he's not great? I can tell you, I tell people who are not great. When they
I
have,
fuck with Jason. I fuck with Jason Tatum.
If somebody who I don't think is great is terrible in the fourth quarter, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. He's not great. I don't care. But if somebody that I think is great and their team has to carry them through most of the fourth quarters that they win, I should say something about that because I think they're great.
Well, I mean, he was having his Madison Square Garden moment.
No, he wasn't. They were down 7
before he got hurt.
They were down 7 with 3 minutes left.
Before he got hurt, bro, he was having his Madison Square Garden moment.
He was not a Madison Square Garden.
He was having the best game of the playoffs that he's
having the best game of the playoffs.
Yes.
He was not having his Madison Square Garden moment. He had 44 points, and they were down 7, and the lead was expanding.
Yeah.
Who knows what the story would have been like?
Which goes back to my point.
Been like if he didn't get hurt, though, bro. We don't.
But which goes back to my point. You're only looking at the offensive part of it.
Ta-da!
Man, I'm not a Celtics fan. I'm just a fan.
I'm not either. But I think Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum has top 3 in the league potential.
Right.
That's fair.
I agree with that.
And in order to get to that next place, he has to be more consistent in the fourth quarter. And he has to stop taking the worst shots that he can possibly take, thinking he's going to make Kobe proud. He has to stop that. He has to identify who he is as a player and go kill them every night.
No, you know what Jason Tatum is? Jason Tatum is the dude. He's me. You know what I'm saying? He's the dude. He's the dude that procrastinates on his homework, and then on Sunday he types like 7 pages, and you're like, "Why you ain't just do that on Friday?" No, for real. Like when you go back and look at it, like I think it was the game 7 against Philly. He had something like 51 points, and it's like, you know what? If you didn't shoot 9 for 26 the other night, you wouldn't have needed to score 50 tonight.
We could. Matter of fact, hey, go back and look at that game. He scored 44 points in. You know what he does every time he scores a bunch of points? He does exactly what I say he should do. Instead of settling for a bunch of turnaround threes, he drives the ball to the basket.
I mean, that's the argument for every NBA player now at this point.
No, it's not.
It is. Everybody like to shoot
not
threes.
The same argument. No, it's not the same argument for everybody. And I hate when people do that.
That's not the same argument for Jaylen Brown.
That's not the same argument. Jaylen Brown takes the ball to the basket.
I don't know. 8 for 20, you don't take it to the basket in my eyes.
Jokic. We consider Jokic
players just have bad games,
right? We consider Jokic as somebody who takes a lot of threes, right? But if Jokic has the opportunity to back somebody down to the basket, isn't he taking them to the basket?
Yes.
Luka somebody takes a lot of threes, right?
Yes.
Don't bring up.
But if he has a chance to move the ball into the middle, into the paint, and take a shot, a better shot, get a float or something like that, doesn't he take the people to the paint?
Yes. Even James Harden.
SGA takes a lot of threes, right? I can keep doing this.
The free throw merchant.
Anthony Edwards.
Free throw merchant.
I'm saying that these people, they're not just relying on a really hot night shooting fadeaway.
That's hilarious. See, that's hilarious that, like, and I don't necessarily disagree with you that SGA might be a free throw merchant, but it's one of those things, right? Jimmy Butler is a free throw merchant. You know, Harden was a free throw merchant. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dwayne Wade at times was a free throw merchant.
Luke is a free throw merchant.
Like, nobody said the word free throw merchant until it affected SGA.
That's because he abusing it. Just like how
no, he ain't doing nothing. Just like
how Harden abused his free throw merchant, his MVP stretch. SGA doing it worse though. Like, niggas just be flopping in the air for calls, bro. Like, no.
As opposed to a dude like Jokic, who's like 6'11" and 280, flopping and diving all over the floor.
Yeah. I've seen Jokic fall like he was shot because somebody touched him.
Someone please call 911.
That's my only point with Tatum, dog. Like if I honestly if like I know you think I hate Tatum, but the truth is I think Tatum has top 3 potential. I think Tatum has a real opportunity to even claim his own, like to have a Tatum era. But we won't have a Tatum era if every fourth quarter we're looking for Derek White and
He gotta be more. He gotta be more
Captain Drew.
selfish. Tatum gotta be more selfish. And
He's
more
mad selfish. He doesn't take smart shots. This isn't hard.
That's tough.
This isn't hard. Go back and look at the game when he scored 40 points, when he scored 50 points. He was driving the ball to the basket. He is 6'10" and can get to the basket. How many years I gotta say this? He's 6'10" and gets to the basket. Nobody can stay in front of him. Nobody can stay in front of him. All you got to do is mix it up. Instead of taking all these, dribbling the ball 30 times to get the best look at a fadeaway 3 you can get, drive the ball to the bucket sometimes and make them think you're going to do something else.
Right.
Coach Rez, throw him in the game.
Dog.
Give him give Rez a clipboard right now.
Man.
Give Rez a
that's like
speedy recovery, Rez. Speedy recovery, Tatum.
Well, that's like when I be talking about Joe Mazzulla. Like, I forgot. I think it was Coach. He was like, Boston take all those threes. That's what they do. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, but take like 43 instead of 60.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Which goes back into my brilliant idea for saving the league. 3-point quota. I'll put that 3-point.
The 3-point quota is insane.
I want the 3-point quota, bro. I think it's a brilliant idea. You get 30.
I'll take a 4-point line before. I'll take a 4-point line.
You get 30. You get 33 point shots a game. After your 30th attempt, they all count as twos.
I want free throws at the end of the quarter.
For what?
I just
slow the game down.
I just saw that on 2K. They got an option on 2K.
You have an option just to take free throws at the end of a quarter? For why?
Yeah.
For what though?
I don't know. I guess that builds pressure, right?
I agree. For why?
That would be pressure, right?
But why?
I don't know.
just that's why.
I don't know.
And what do they mean the end of the quarter? Like when the quarter ends, they
like when the quarter
left,
ends, it's like, hey, Denver got 17 free throw attempts. OKC got 15.
So they get to take 30 free throws to catch up. Like what happens?
You just take your shots and then they take their shots.
Wow.
Oh, so they save all the free throws until the middle of the end of the quarter. Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is pressure, though. That is pressure.
That is pressure. You're right about that.
I seen it on 2K, man. They got an option in the off season. I'll never do it though.
Yo, that'd be an awful game.
I might do that now. I might change.
That'd be an awful game to watch though.
Like, that's gonna slow the game down. That's gonna
especially what if you had to alternate like the shootouts in hockey and soccer and all that.
Because you couldn't get rebounds off of free throws now.
Yeah.
That'd
so it's tough. Like, all right, Jokic free throw, SGA free throw, Jokic free throw, SGA free throw. Who's next?
That's crazy. Yeah, I'd hate that. I'd never watch that. Oh, sorry. Shout out to well, he's not South Carolina's own, but his dad lives in South Carolina. He's Georgia's own. Deion Jackson Jr. for I want to say that he had a 70-yard rushing touchdown for the Defenders today.
Nice.
His dad was a principal here, and he was my first interview as a teacher. So shout out to him for getting that touchdown. He played for the Colts, but now he's in the
and shout out to the Wahoo, Bryce Perkins. I'm gonna say that every time.
Well, Bryce did. We got another win today. Brahmas, the Stallions got another win.
Oh, I thought that was what you were reporting on.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Deion plays for the Defenders. He don't play for the Stallions.
DC Defenders, yeah.
Oh shit!
All right. Y'all ready for pop quiz time?
Pop quiz. Let's hit it.
Mr. B, want the link, bro.
So there's 4 teams left.
Shit.
There's 4 teams left in the playoffs.
All right.
There is a player that his team's defense holds teams to 24 less points per possession per 100 possessions when he's on the court. Who is that player?
Say that again.
There's a player left in the playoffs when he's on the floor, when he's playing on the floor, his team holds their opponents to 24 less points per 100 possessions than their average. Who is
Somebody
it?
on Indiana. Somebody on Indiana.
What makes you say that?
A good hunch.
Love a good hunch.
I love a good hunch.
I would think the hunch would be OKC, but
I would
Steven
say
Adams.
Alex Caruso.
no, I said they still in the playoffs, Cups.
I would say Alex Caruso.
Oh shit.
Alex Caruso. We got Alex Caruso. What you think, Cups?
Jalen Williams.
All right, what you think, Ro?
I just say a player from the Pacers. I don't really have a specific name.
No, you got to give me a name. You got to
Oh
be specific.
shit! God damn it!
Look, he about to go to NBA.com and pull up.
No, I ain't gonna do that. No, I
Don't
ain't gonna
cheat,
go
bro.
there. I'm just say Miles Turner.
All right, so
Keep it simple.
Ro had the team correct.
Knew it was somebody on the Pacers.
Oh,
Do
Is
it.
it
The
hard?
answer,
Tell you that.
the
much,
answer
man.
is Pascal Siakam.
Pascal Siakam.
Somebody on the
Yeah.
Pacers.
So that's me hereby saying that he's the X factor to the Knicks series.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact there.
Pascal plays what, 3 or 4?
He plays the 4.
4.
So his likely assignment is what, Mitchell Robinson?
Maybe or possibly Cat. Because Miles Turner is, I guess the wider body to bang with Mitchell Robinson. So maybe, but like I was saying earlier, I have no idea who's going to win that series.
I got the Knicks. I got the Knicks in 6.
I think
There we
that's
go,
what
Rez.
I'm
I'm right there with
I
you.
think, I
That's
think
what I
that's
said.
Pacers in 5, gang. I got to do
I
it.
think that's
Pacers
what
in
I'm
5.
leaning.
I don't care.
I think that's what I'm leaning, and I'm leaning OKC in 6.
Yeah, I'm taking OKC in 6.
I think
And the
OKC takes it, but I'd love to see Ant in the finals.
Yeah, I would love to see Ant. I would love to see Knicks Timberwolves just because of the Cat trade, the Cat Julius Randle trade.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I think the reason that I think I like OKC, and it's not just because I picked them to win the title.
They're deep, bro.
The reason that I think I like OKC is they have more people to defend Ant than Minnesota has that can defend SGA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's my whole Kobe Bryant against Boston theory.
Yeah. Throw a bunch of bodies at them. Just throw waves and waves and waves. But dog, Ant in Madison Square Garden in the NBA Finals. Dog.
I know. Could you imagine him doing the DX chop in the middle of MSG?
Dog. I make more money.
Point at Joe Budden and tell him to suck it while he's in the Joe Budden seats.
Yo, in the Budden seats. That Fat Joe. Dog, I want to see that so bad. I don't think I'd miss a minute of that series, bro.
I don't know. Ro ain't gonna watch it if Minnesota there.
The Knicks made it to the The Knicks made it to a conference finals before the Cowboys made it to a conference finals.
I know. Knicks first time since 2000.
25 years.
Come on, gang.
Hey, you know what? But while you playing,
so
the Knicks, first time in 25 years. The Pacers made it the year after them. Minnesota is never won a title, back-to-back conference finals. OKC's never won a title. So, there's some stories here.
Oh, there's lots of stories there. There's lots of stories.
Come on, Ro. Just watch it, Ro.
Yo, did you see?
I'll definitely flash to it.
Did you hear the latest episode of Bomani Jones with Mero?
Yes.
Dog, did you hear when they was talking about Boston
El DeBarge.
being the corniest team, like the corniest
Oh
team in
yeah.
basketball history?
Yeah, that
Yo,
commercial is awful.
did you hear him talk about he was talking about how about the thing that I mentioned when Jaylen Brown, when I said Jaylen Brown's the worst motivational speaker of all time, when he was
Yeah.
like, they
Damn.
called them the Orlando Magic, but we got the Magic. Somebody boo this man.
What?
Old Harry Potter ass.
Oh my god.
Dog, he's terrible, bro. And like, but all of them are like that.
What the fuck did Jaylen Brown?
So
What the fuck did Jaylen Brown say in that damn? He was like, fucking.
Jaylen Brown is super corny, bro.
what?
He was like, it's a bad day to be alive or something like that, but we live to see another day.
All the
Like,
cliches.
losing to the Knicks is like death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we live. But the thing is, we live to see another day. Type shit. I was like, what the fuck?
So if you're Boston, with all this stuff going on, do you consider trading him?
You can't trade him now.
If somebody will take the contract, depends on what we get back. But yeah,
You can't trade him coming off an injury.
No, you got to trade him and then go get one of the Boozer sons next year.
That's crazy.
I think Cam is
I
the
don't
good
know.
one.
It's like I said, bro. We gonna have to. I honestly think, maybe trade him now because we gonna have to have a season without Tatum. Maybe trade him now.
Yeah, I mean it's a meniscus. It ain't like it's an ACL or something.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
you gonna trade him before he has the
significant
opportunity to go fight for the MVP?
Yeah.
See what we can get back for him. I mean, we're probably not gonna be able to trade him now that he's hurt. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gonna trade him when he wins the MVP, bro?
significant time, but you know what I'm saying? If he misses significant time, that's still gonna be better for us because that's gonna help us towards our not necessarily tanking, but help us get closer to a better draft pick. And I mean, hey, all we got to do is teeter around the play in. You know what I'm saying? And we can wind up with a fucking lottery pick.
But
I
dog,
saw Boston interview Cooper Flag the other day. What the fuck they doing?
they just had some free time.
They was like, oh, let me find this white boy.
Just like we got to see him. He's white. We got to talk to him. This is our brand.
I mean, he's from that area,
I got to figure out when summer league tickets going on sale, bro. I'm gonna drop in on Vegas.
Yeah, so I see that Duke transfer declared for the draft.
Who?
Cedric Coward.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he came over from Houston.
And declare for the draft?
Yeah. Oh no, not Houston. I'm sorry. I think it was Washington State.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he declared for the draft and killed it at the combine. Why doesn't anybody watch the NBA combine the way that they watch the NFL combine?
Because what the fuck do they do? What drills do they do? Those
They don't even advertise it the same
They
way.
don't advertise it. They don't put it on thing on like I think it's on NBA TV, but like it ain't on like ESPN. The NFL draft combine might be on ESPN.
For all the people that say that the draft lottery is rigged, do they ever go on YouTube and watch the draft lottery happen?
They don't watch a whole lot of anything, bro.
Because I pulled it up the other day and I was looking at it, and when the last episode of Sports Reports is ordered, I actually had the combinations of these are the numbers that the teams have to get. And so Utah, since they had like the most odds, they had 140 different number combinations that would have got them the number one draft pick.
Oh wow!
So like if they're rigging that, that's fucking intense.
Yeah, I just don't believe in like the rig thing. I just think people cherry pick the whole rig thing.
That's an easy thing to say.
Yeah, I think people cherry pick it. And it's like, oh well, that just makes sense. If the NBA was rigged, there's no way the lottery's rigged. There's no way that Zion ends up in New Orleans.
If the NBA was rigged,
it just doesn't happen.
If the NBA was rigged, the Knicks' last title would be closer to now than it is to 7 years before, 8 years before I was born.
Correct. That's a major one. That's a major one.
Shout out to the Knicks, man. Like I said, bro, y'all lucky. Y'all lucky we down this year. Y'all better get it this year or next year, cause that window closing quick.
It was like, yo, they rigged the draft to get Patrick Ewing, but they never rigged it to get Patrick Ewing a title.
Or you rigged it to get Patrick Ewing, and then you gave the Bulls Michael Jordan,
You know what I'm
and then
saying?
gave Michael Jordan all the titles.
You let Patrick Ewing get a dude from the supermarket to come guard Michael Jordan.
Wait,
Like that man came off his shift at Publix. It was like, where's this Jordan you've been talking about?
Where's this Jordan guy? They left you to go out and hang out, man. What's going on? Why are you by yourself? I'm concerned.
Yo, why the NBA let the Knicks guard Michael Jordan with Anthony Mason?
Anthony Mason, who was convicted of child molestation.
Yikes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
no.
or it was either child molestation or statutory rape. One of the two. was
Yikes.
the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yikes.
no, for sure.
I didn't even know that. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Mason. Yeah. What did your family leave you, bro? Like, why are you like you're on vacation? Why did you tell them, hey, I got a pod and I'm gonna go back to the room while y'all go kick it? What are
No,
you
no,
doing?
they're not here. I'm here for work.
Oh, you for work?
Yeah.
I thought you were there for a family trip.
No, he's at a
No.
conference.
Yeah, I'm at the World at Work 2025 Total Rewards Conference.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, isn't that exciting?
I love conferences. I love going to conferences, dog.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love this per diem for these meals.
Oh, for sure. But I went to a conference. I went to a conference in New Orleans, dog. Had a blast.
Hey, I'm telling you, Mr. Bitches would have a blast down here if he seen what I saw today.
Really?
I'm going to a conference in Denver in July.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Shout out
Okay.
to the gang, man. So
Yeah,
before we get out this, John dog, Rumi
Yeah.
Row.
Yeah. What you got?
We always talk about how top heavy the West is, right? But could you see Timberwolves and the Thunder being the teams that we see battling potentially for the Western Conference Finals for a couple years to come?
That's a great question. I definitely think. I honestly, it also depends on the off-season moves because whoever wins or makes it to the finals, or let's just say OKC wins the championship, I think they could definitely run it back because I think a lot of their players are young and everybody's under contract. Timberwolves, I feel like one of the teams. Honestly, I think got lucky this year. They definitely got a good break as far as making it this far. I don't know if anybody had the Timberwolves going this far. I don't think I don't think those are gonna be like the two top teams as far as to be like, oh, we need to be prepping for these two teams. Like, even OKC because honestly might take a step back next year possibly. You know what I'm saying? Because people might be like, well, it's a 1 year run for them. You know what I mean? So it's still kind of early to see.
If OKC don't win this year, expect to hear some Giannis to OKC.
Oh wow, that would be crazy.
And the crazy thing is they have the resources to do it.
Yep.
They definitely do. They load it up.
You know what I'm saying? So you still
Anybody
gonna
else
be
want to
mad
take a crack at that
when
question real
SGA
quick?
Get this trophy. I think yes. Because like I said, right, earlier, Steph is getting a year older, Draymond's a year older, Jimmy's a year older. You know, so get Golden State out of here.
Bron's a year
LeBron's
older.
another year older. You
Still
know
don't
what I'm
have a
saying?
center.
So until the Lakers show that they can build a roster, get them out of here. You know, Dallas, you know, Kyrie got to come back, and Cooper Flag is just too young at this point, probably. The Clippers are the
He's
Clippers.
too young. He's too young to put him in this conversation.
Right. The Clippers are the Clippers. like Rez said, I agree that Denver's going to look a whole lot different and
Yep.
possibly not for the better because
Nope.
they're probably going to have to come off of like a Jamal Murray or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. Memphis, okay, that's enough. Nothing left to say.
Said
Word.
enough said.
Um, like, who else is there right now? I mean, obviously, well, the only team that I could say that could get into the conversation just off of how they're set up right now is Houston, because Houston has so much talent that they can move and get something.
Mhm.
Houston's one is definitely interesting. Um, I don't see anybody else being able to compete at the level. The other thing is for Minnesota, and I've said it mad times, and I think it's really going underappreciated. Though I don't watch sports talk, so I don't know how much they're talking about. But I know when I watch the games, they're not really talking about it. If Minnesota doesn't win it this year, they've wasted a prime effort from Julius Randle.
For sure.
And I don't know if you can bank on a second playoff journey like Julius Randle's having right now.
Right.
Uh,
And what does Gobert's legs look like next year?
Jesus, get that guy, get out of here, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not old, but at the same time, like, he's been around.
But is he lame though?
Oh, he's definitely lame.
Okay, cool.
You know, he's the fag model for Call Kana Esco ads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just don't know who else can step up. You know what I mean? Because like, let's just hypothetically say the Clippers said, "Hey, you know what? Let's get hard. Let's see what we can get for Harden." Then you still got a dude Kawhi that's hobbled half the
Yeah.
year.
For sure. I mean, the Clippers are another team that's good because for one, who's their third best player, and their top two best players have AARP cards.
Y'all will
Well,
never see Victor.
their third best player is Zubac. You know, but I wonder, like, if you're Denver, if I'm Denver, I might call Houston and be like, "Yo, what you want for that number 10?"
That's the Reed Shepard guy.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know, I don't. But the problem is that Denver just doesn't have assets either, though. Because like outside of Jamal Murray, like it's sad to say, but you probably want to keep Christian Brown. You know what I mean? But
what value
like,
does he bring?
I don't know. That's I mean,
Energetic
but
white man.
he was one of the ones that showed up today, though. You know what I mean? So I imagine you start with Jokic and Aaron Gordon, and then you got to figure out like what's Jamal Murray's value around the league. Nobody probably wants Michael Porter.
Pack that guy up. I hate watching him play ball.
But that's
bro.
what I'm saying. Like Denver doesn't have the pieces to get what they need to get.
Dude either hits everything he shoots, or you are cursing the day you brought him to your team.
Like Jokic might be Giannis in 2 years.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because the dude that put their championship team together is the dude that built Minnesota.
Toya?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So like I don't know, man. Like you got to give them a puncher's chance just because they got Jokic. But you know what I'm saying? Like you might see him get injured next year if they don't, like today, right? Like he went out the game with a 5-point lead. He sat down for about a minute and a half, and OKC went on a 13-0 run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think you're right. I think Denver has to figure out their coaching situation.
Yeah, I mean,
I still don't.
Brody is still playing important minutes.
I understand that they felt like they needed to shake things up because something was going on at the top. But like you coming off a like you're 2 years away from a championship. Your team was
ooh,
made it to like you got Mark Malone, like you just fired Mark Malone, and I don't
ooh.
know. I don't
All
know,
right,
like that's not what you're doing. You have what you think is the best player in the world.
can I play multiverse real quick?
Go for it.
Absolutely.
So Brooklyn has 5 picks in the top 36 of this year's draft. To include number 8. So if they called or if Denver called them and said, "Let me give you Jamal Murray for something in like 2 of those picks," could Brooklyn go get Jonathan Kaminga
Hmm.
and start their
Who they
rebuild?
gonna have?
And just act,
Cam Johnson. Shout out to Cam.
yeah, like you maybe Cam Johnson and 2 first rounders for Jamal Murray. So you get it. So you get another shooter, like an actual shooter, not a dude that can just score and hit shots, but an actual shooter, and
Hmm.
like who's about Michael Porter's size. So if you can find pause, so if you can find somebody to take Michael Porter, you free that lane up, and you get you potentially get some picks out of it.
I just need them to move off of Michael Porter, dog. Cause I hate seeing bro play ball. I hate
I
seeing
mean,
bro play ball.
he's still young and he's 6'10", so somebody might give him a shot.
Yeah, somebody
He
gonna
could
give
be
him a
our
shot.
fourth option.
Yeah, somebody could give him a shot. Like he would probably be like not even trying to be funny right now, but he might not be a bad piece for the Lakers.
True.
I can see him on the I can see him on the Lakers.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, he is hurt right now too. You know what I mean? Like he got the shredder joint on his shoulder.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know. You
So
know what I'm saying?
the final jump before we get out of here, fellas. I think we've all taken turns saying it throughout the pod, but we're gonna finish it off with this right here. Who are we calling for the finals?
Knicks and OKC. That's my pick.
Agree.
I think it's Knicks OKC, but I want to see Knicks Minnesota.
Hmm.
I think
I
OKC is a better team, but I just think Ant is like dude is a force of nature as a personality, and the trash he's going to talk in Madison Square Garden will be epic.
I kind of want to
Facts.
see Wolves Pacers just to see the fans bitch.
Anything related to the Pacers, there will be a mutiny on the NBA. People will storm the league offices if it's not the Knicks.
I'm always just scared for the Knicks though, because I'm just always scared
I
somebody's
don't
gonna
know,
get
Mike.
hurt.
Yeah, Mike
I'm just
asked why I
scared.
haven't been MVP yet.
because they
Why?
had to
Oh,
wait for the
that's a
series to be over, bro.
no. That's a great question because I was thinking that in most years we would have had it around the eighth.
It's not. Yeah, yeah.
They had to wait for the series to
You
end.
know
You
what I'm
already know.
saying?
But yeah,
I mean, votes are already in.
I would want it to be Minnesota and Indiana. I was about to say Indianapolis, but Indiana. Just because I want to see Hallie and Ant go at it, and I think the teams will be nicely matched up. But you know, I definitely think Timberwolves can beat OKC though for sure. So as long as that happens. But Timberwolves and Knicks wouldn't be bad either, like you said, bro. Anytime people talking shit at Madison Square Garden, that's a good thing for me. So
For sure.
So like, the Wolves are just one of those teams. They play up and down to their competition. So OKC's going to get their best. You know what I mean? But I think Minnesota at times plays a lot of stupid basketball that they haven't got bitten in the ass yet because of who they've been playing.
right.
Yo,
And Ant be having some slow starts. You know what I mean? Like he be having some 1 for 6s and some 2 for 8s, and then he'll come on later. But he do that against OKC. They down 20 by the time he turned it on.
where does Obi Toppin play?
What does he play?
Where?
Oh, he's Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw this thing.
He started out as a Knick though.
Yeah, I just saw this thing said one of these 2023 Knicks is getting their first ring this year. It had Jalen Brunson, Hardenstein, Julius Randle, and Obi Toppin.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
got
it is.
drafted by them, and then yeah.
Obi Toppin was drafted by the Knicks. I remember. I thought he was supposed to be like a not like a direct comparison, but like stylistically like a Zion kind of person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Slasher, dunk, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They market him as a dunker.
Yeah, now he's a shooter.
Yeah, he always had a jumper though. So, god dang, fellas, we done reached that hour and 41-minute mark.
For sure.
Goddamn
Great
Sunday
episode.
smoke service. We appreciate everybody who came through the smoke with the gang. Also, shout out to Rumi Rowe for making an appearance in this here Sunday smoke service. It is
Appreciate
always
you,
a
Rumi.
pleasure to
Man,
have
no
my
doubt, man. I
dog.
appreciate it. I like
in
the
the
slider. I like
building.
the slider, man. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. You already know. And also, of course, shout out to Cowboy Mike, DJ Mike P, representing live on the motherfucking ones and twos.
One mic.
Mike.
Hell yeah. So you already know I had the gang with me, one half of Sports Reports as Order 25. Mike Will representing live in the motherfucking building. Shouts out from the work conference. And you know I had my dog, the chosen one, El Residente, San Jose, representing live in the motherfucking building. You can catch us tomorrow night for the Monday smoke meeting. Same time, same place. We letting the windows down. We letting the smoke out. And above all else,
Hold up. Before you do, one shout out to my son, Rajon Lewis Jr., heading off to basic training on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
This evening. Shoot
It's
your
been
prayers
106 all week though.
He going to Fort Jackson. He cool.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to Air Force. He going Army.
Okay.
Yeah, we kept him home. But not he's going to basic training on Tuesday. So just shout him out and prayers up for my boy.
Yes, sir.
Prayers up. Absolutely, man.
And of course, above all else,
fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Side of Kevin Durant.
KD.
Fuck Kevin Durant.
Hey,
a sprinkle of Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
And fuck Rudy Gobert, bro. And
fuck
hold on, wait.
Jokic just for today.
And shout out Rudy Gobert for kicking out his girlfriend and child so that he can lock in for the playoffs.
What?
This man is a loser.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Right, he did that once for Father's Day, dog.
So, man, look, smoke with us next time. Catch us for the Monday